We're proud of the fact that our kids are being recognized, and certainly we're excited about what that does for them individually, and if it's getting Stetson's name out there as a football power now. I'm not sure we've reached that level until we become a consistent winner, but clearly we're making steps in the right direction, and the fact that we're getting national recognition for individuals plays into kind of our culture statement, which is if the team does well, you'll all get your individual accolades. And so make sure the team comes first, the mission that we have. And it's a great example of how individuals start to get recognized when the team does better. But I mean, he has had a heck of a year, um, and his durability has been much better. His physicalness has been much better. His route running has been much better. His blocking has been much better. So while he's getting the accolades for all his receptions, he's become a totally complete player for us. And it's been fun to watch his evolution. You know, knowing when he came here as a freshman, I'm not sure he weighed 215 pounds, and to see the evolution over those last 4 years, and especially this last year, it's great to see him have that kind of success. There's a lot of things going into it, and to go back to, well, we have better protection on the offensive line. Colin's delivering the ball where we need to. I think Colin is doing a great job of reading coverages, confirming what happens after the snap, and then delivering the ball where it has to. And then, you know, Donald being 6'8", he's a matchup problem for just about anyone he goes against. And so I think all of those things, plus the fact that he's had great hands, is more precise in his route running, as I said earlier, and is making plays after the catch. He's breaking tackles now. He's being physical with his runs, and has a much better game awareness of what's going on, where the chains are, how he has to modify his route to make sure we keep the drive going. And all those things have played into the fact that he's been pretty successful. And that's a product of hard work. You know, he and Donald both worked very hard this summer, and I think Colin has put the extra time in, watching film, studying defenses, understanding any kind of tells, as they say, for what coverage you're going to be playing. And the other thing that Colin has been very good is protecting the football. You know, as a team, we're +7 in turnovers. Well, they're going to have to roll the coverage. You're going to have to double coverage Donald. But what has helped us so much is the addition of Steve Burdett and the coming on of Justin Jordan. If they do double Donald, which most people I think should, we have other outlets to go to. And then what Colin did really well last week was in a couple plays which looked like little subtleties. He went through his whole progression. Everything was covered, came right back, dropped the ball off to the check down to Matt Taft, and he went for 18 yards for a touchdown. He did the same thing, same play later on to Bryce Blackman, who got another 13 yards and a first down. And so if he can continue to be patient with what we're doing, and our line can continue to provide the protection to allow the patience, you know, hopefully we can continue that kind of success. Because they have good players, and certainly they're scoring some points here in the last few weeks. You know, Pace Temple, their wide receiver, is one of the best in the league, and he's almost at 3,000 career catching yards. Will Marty, their quarterback, is a redshirt senior. You know, 6'4", throws the ball around well, and so I don't know exactly why they haven't had the success, but I do know that they're very well coached. They have a great sense of pride in that program, and going in there on their home turf to try to win is going to be a difficult task. One of the trademarks of this year's Stetson teams are, you know, it's one game at a time, and a lot of great respect, a lot of humility. Hey, let's work on this week and what we have to do to win the game, and so there's no taking any team lightly in this league. Anyone can beat anybody at any given time, and so you better bring your A game, especially when you're on the road. Defensively, they're blitzing a lot more than they have. They're certainly showing multiple fronts depending on what the situation is, and they're playing a little more too high man coverage underneath. And so all of those things lend to a different game plan approach because of what they're presenting. You know, they're bringing extra pressure to try to make sure they don't give the quarterbacks a lot of time, and so we're going to have to check protections, make sure that we have everyone picked up. Quarterback's going to have to do a little bit more at the line of scrimmage if we can recognize what they're doing. Defensively, you know, they have the receiver, Temple, that we talked about. They have two good running backs that move the ball pretty well, and they're big up front. They haven't been always consistent moving the ball, but they certainly have the capability of having a great offensive production, and hopefully defensively we can step in there and make sure that we have the right guys covered at the right time. We put the pressure on at the right time, and our whole thing is we've got to be very disciplined in our pass rushes to make sure that that quarterback can't break perimeter because he can run as well. Well, athletically, Colby's very gifted, and he's got a great instinct for the ball. The thing that moving to Mike does for him or does against him is now he's making all the calls. He's making all the checks. And so where he was outside linebacker, it could be see ball, get ball. Now he's got to think a little bit before the snap. He's got to get everyone else lined up, make sure we're in the right coverage, make sure we're in the right front, make sure that if we have to check a blitz to a different side, that we can do that before he can actually settle down and read his keys. And so that takes some adjustment to do that. I think that Hunter has stepped in very well to help play. Brett Oliver got to see some action last week, and he's got to step in and make plays. The fact that Colby's moving around as well. And then we've also got to get more help out of our dog safeties, Reggie Gant and Peter Katz. Greg has gotten better each week, and certainly we saw that potential in him last year as he redshirted. And so, again, the offensive line he's going against is very well coached and also very good size. And so he'll have his work cut out for him. You can never have enough big guys who can run. And they're always a commodity. They're hard to get because everybody in the world wants them. And so when we recruit those guys, it's crucial that they understand that their time could come at any time. And I think, Winston's played very well when he's gotten in there. Salukas has been playing well when he's gotten in there as well. And so those two additionally, in addition to our normal starters, have really added the depth. Yeah, Antonio Andrews, he's been a really pleasant surprise. We moved him down from linebacker, and really we feel he's found his position. And each week he's getting just a little bit better because as he gets more experience, he's understanding which moves he can use, which moves he can't, and then when to just rely on his quickness to get in and beat a guy and go make a play. Well, Bryson Richards is high energy all the time, every time, and that's why he's such a great special teams player for us as well. And Bryce, he knows one speed, and that's full speed, full go, all out, all the time. And his actual energy for the game rubs off on everyone else. It was great to see him make the interceptions because he's been in position to make a few this year, and he hasn't. And then to take it to the pick six was a game-changing thing in the second half. I mean, that totally shut the door on Moorhead, and I thought really gave us the upper hand emotionally as the game went on. When I gave him the mission statement on Monday morning, I made him look at that. I made him say it would be +7 turnovers, +7 turnovers. If you came out to our practice, you would hear every one of our coaches talking about how to hold the ball, how to put the ball away right now. You'd hear every one of our defensive coaches talking about creating turnovers, stripping the ball, making sure we're ball hawks. And there is absolutely no question that that's the biggest statistic that we've changed. His first two games, he had over 100 yards. And running back hasn't done that here, I don't know in how long. And so a lot of guys would have started to pout or not produce or gave up on the season, but he's done just the opposite. He's found his role. He understands what it is. He embraces it. And so when he got his opportunity, I couldn't have been more excited for him, and I think he's just having a blast. Listen, they can't score if we have the ball, so we've got to stay on the field on third down and get them off the field on third down. First down is still a crucial deal, and last week we won 20 out of 36 of those, and that's great for keeping the drive alive offensively. Defensively, we didn't do as well, and we need to up that and make sure that we're getting them in long yardage situations. We've got to contain their wide receiver. We got to make sure that he does not have a typical day for him, which is 11, 12 catches and about 150 to 180 yards. And we've got to shut him down, and we've got to make them one-dimensional. We cannot allow them to run the football effectively. Offensively, we've got to be able to pick up all the stunts, all the different fronts that they have, all the different blitzes that they have, and be able to identify the coverages they're playing post-snap, and then be able to execute the play into that. So it's going to take for our offensive players, a lot of recognition as we first come out, understand what they're playing, making our adjustments from that during the play, and then executing when the play goes. I mean, everyone's excited, and that's great, and don't misunderstand. 7-1 sure beats the alternative. With that said, we've got 2 games left, and we got, as I told the team, they got to enjoy it for about 24 hours. I told the staff, you get to about 12 hours, and we're going back to work. And we have an opportunity, if we play well, to have a chance to do something that hasn't been done here in a long time. And so it's back to work, hard hat, lunch pail, make sure that you're doing everything you can today to do what you have to win and do what you have to get better. And if we continue to keep that attitude of, humble and hungry, I think we have a chance to improve each week. And we certainly haven't played a perfect game to this point. In fact, last week I would argue that we didn't play our best game of the year. And to be able to win is great, but we're not satisfied until we play that game that we're all going to be proud of on both sides of the ball, and we have yet to do that.